Hi, 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 hi.
Stop saying it.
Okay, welcome back to us trying to figure out what the fuck SCP actually stands for.
Sugar, cornstarch, penicillin.
It sounds right. So today we're looking at the origins of sugar cornstarch penicillin dash 682.
Also known as
Big lizard.
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 Good day.
Look at the lizard. Look, it says, look, right here it says, big lizard.
We'll
Everyone,
teach him how to
welcome
read
back.
one of
Thank you
these
for tuning
days.
in to the origins
Big
of
lizard.
SCP-682 set forth by myself and Dr. Sumerian. A big thanks to the council members and administrators. A quick word from this video sponsor, and we'll get started. A year ago, there was a very successful crowdfunding campaign for the SCP art books, and now the very same team
shit.
have released a brand spanking new SCP calendar just in time for the new year.
Well, hold on. An SCP calendar?
Kind of want one.
I kind of want one as
It
well.
comes with 14 huge, highly detailed prints for your wall, 12 for this year, and 2 bonus ones for the start of
Oh,
2023, and a special SCP
Aw, it's
tube to keep
old.
them all safe and
aww. Do you think we can still get
Okay,
it?
but I want the tube as well. Hold on. Parabooks, is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah. Callie, do a research.
Doing it. Um, Looks like they're available on Amazon.
Oh.
But I don't know about the calendars anymore, but they do have art books.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
one of them has my boy.
Oh. Game.
The doors to the shipping container were pulled open by the attending D-Class, and an enraged creature came bounding out. It instantly grabbed one of the men in its mouth and cleaved him in two, swallowing the upper half.
Damn.
Several armed men came forward and unleashed a barrage of heavy gunfire into the creature from behind. Bloody jaws turned towards the armed men, ready to slaughter them where they stood. But for now, the creature had more important things to do. It turned and quickly put the men behind it, sprinting away to freedom. He heard a voice in his head. It was commanding him to leave. The strangeness of the situation struck him almost immediately, and so did something else. The ground split in two as the reptile was struck. One of the most powerful and mightiest entities the Foundation had ever encountered unleashed its fury on 682. Another blow descended on 682
What
before
is
he
it?
had even hit the ground.
Who's beating
682 took a deep breath of
that
scorched
God?
earth and his own flesh as he rolled onto his back. His entire being was charred and red raw. He pulled himself out of the crater to see an angelic
fucking
being
God?
standing over him.
The snake slithers back to the garden.
Uriel.
He spat blood and burnt meat onto the ground.
You corrupted my lord's vision.
I simply suggested they eat the fruit.
So, is this implying that SCP-682 is the snake in the Garden of Eden?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's what's being suggested right here.
After another blinding flash of light, 682 was hurtling across the landscape once again, this time with a massive gash in his abdomen. His entrails followed, not too far behind him.
Not too
He
far.
groaned in his crater
A little far, but not too far.
and began consuming the earth around him. Lost muscle and flesh began to regrow, armored plating began to cover his extremities, and he began to grow. He could feel his bones creaking and snapping, adjusting to his new form.
You command me to die after the curse your lord laid upon me?
682 stood tall
Oh
and
my god.
stared down the angel. Everything about his new form was catered towards bringing death to this being. Uriel brought his sword up and stared back, waiting for the reptile's first move. With a monumental roar, 682 bounded towards Uriel. Just as 682 was upon him, Uriel swung his sword around and brought it swiftly into the...
Yeah, this is the Origins. Yeah, this feels like we joined mid-battle. Like,
Yeah.
sure this is the start? This doesn't really feel like an Origin at the moment.
Am I sure? I'm not sure if anything.
I mean, the art is really amazing. The art's fantastic. Good job on anyone that drew this.
the side of 682's head. The receiving
Yeah.
side of 682's skull shattered, sending a hailstorm of blood and bone fragments to the ground. The reptile quickly recovered and used the impact's momentum
Oh,
to
shit.
swing his tail around and slam it into Uriel's side, the spikes going deep. Uriel brought the sword swinging back, separating 682 from his tail in a flash. He followed up with a hard kick to the beast, sending it crashing backwards. Uriel glanced down at his wounds and gave 682 an acknowledging nod. The reptile roared.
Yeah,
and
oh
struck
my
the
god,
ground
how
with-
does he look cooler with each fucking time they draw him? Sally!
Level scaling.
Oh, I see.
it to bubble and split between their feet. The faults ran deep and lava began to bubble up from between the cracks. 682 lowered himself to the floor, never taking his eyes off Uriel, and began absorbing the fire into his form. Uriel took a step back into a defensive position and readied himself for the next strike. The beast began to convulse, before expelling a mixture of magma and acid at the angel. Uriel
Damn,
brought his sword
where'd
back
he get that from?
and wrapped his many wings around his form. The mixture settled on them, but did not penetrate. 682 moved in to press his advantage as the angel's wings unfurled and showered the beast in its own cocktail.
But I am very slightly confused as to what the fuck is going on here.
A battle between a lizard and an angel. Duh.
But how did we get here? I feel like I joined in the middle of a season.
In the beginning, there was nothing. Well, except all the old gods. Those were there. They've been here the whole time. Anyway, then came the Earth and then like all the other planets and the stars and shit, and now we have a lizard fighting an angel. That's the history of mankind.
Fuck, okay.
Of searing hot acid. 682 fell backwards, screaming in agony as his eyes melted in their sockets. Uriel brought the flaming sword crashing down on 682, splitting him from head to chest. A final cut was delivered and the beast's lower limbs were removed, leaving it to crawl on the floor. 682 didn't even try to get up.
Exactly where a snake should be, on its belly.
So kill me.
My lord has commanded you to suffer for all eternity.
That's a long time.
That's not too long.
Uriel raised his
Oh,
sword once
eternal.
more, holding the hilt high with the blade low, and let gravity pull it down into the beast's hide. 682 felt a brief sensation of scorching heat and agony before being reduced to a severed head. He could feel his armored plating disappearing into his body, his remaining mass being redistributed to replace what was lost. A massive hand grabbed him before tossing him out of the garden. He coughed and wheezed as the impact sent dust and rocks into his airways. He heard the words remove in his head, and as his eyes returned, he saw several blurred humanoid figures in orange jumpsuits approaching him on the horizon.
That's pretty sick. Dorman.
Stick shit, mate.
Dorman.
The smell
Oh.
of death and rot
Oh.
filled the beast's cell as the mangled corpse of a woman fell through the ceiling. She was covered in a black substance that ate away at her flesh as he crept forward to investigate. A quick sniff confirmed what he already knew. A sound like wet mud began to echo around his cell as the walls began to bleed a thick tar.
Not today, old man.
SCP-682 squared his
Not
shoulders
today,
and charged
Satan.
at the cell
Not now. I got people to eat. It's lunchtime.
door. Despite several inches of tungsten and reinforced concrete, the door buckled and broke. He easily barged his way through the secondary containment gates and sprinted down the nearest corridor, eager to put as much distance between the old man and himself as possible. SCP-682 had no intention of paying Hell a visit.
Yeah, I relate to
As he
that.
attempted
I
to navigate
often
the
want
endless
to put as
corridors, he
much
saw the
distance in
old man's
between you and I as possible.
I'm not an old man.
Mm,
I'm not an old man, Tally.
we have confirmed he is a child.
I'm not a child. There are more than two states of being, Tally. There's
No, I
more
don't
than
think
just
so.
old men and children.
No.
handiwork everywhere. Crippled bodies lying in puddles of filth and blood, faces contorted in petrified agony. He slammed through a wall and found himself falling down an elevator shaft.
Oh.
He dug his claws into the walls and began to claw his way to the surface. His blood ran cold as he looked up to see
This looks more like, instead of the origins, this more looks like him just fighting different SCPs. This is more like a compilation than an origin.
Oh, I get it. It's Godzilla.
Yeah?
It's just a big lizard that fights other things.
SCP-106 standing horizontal on the wall, looking down at him. He froze.
Leave me alone.
He demanded. The iconic smile of the old man formed across his face.
The iconic
Usually
smile.
the last thing a person saw before death took them. His face disappeared into a conglomeration of corrosive fluid that detached from the wall and hurtled towards SCP-682. The beast felt his face liquefy like butter in a hot pan as the acid washed over him. He screamed in agony and felt the flesh around his
butter.
mouth crack and split.
Flesh.
A searing solution of melted flesh and bone ran down his throat. He fell away from the wall and plummeted down the elevator shaft. The beast pulled himself out of the rubble and looked upwards. There was no way he was reaching.
Why is he posted up like that? Damn.
He had crashed through on his descent. He was in some kind of storage room. Crates were piled high and all covered in the same black substance.
Because if you look that
He turned to
ugly,
see
the
the-
best you can do is look cool while doing it.
What did you just call me?
Child.
The old man casually sitting on one of the boxes, head tilted at an angle, with a smile on his face.
I have waited so long for this moment. Leave me alone. I have heard so many titles for you. The steed that death will ride into the apocalypse. One of the Scarlet King's children.
Only
The
one.
servant from the garden.
Who's the
Which
Scarlet
one
King?
are you? All of them.
I know it's supposed to be like the old man and the big lizard talking, but they both have the exact same voice. It
Yeah.
just sounds like the lizard is schizophrenic.
I think we both know you aren't the devil.
The beast suddenly fell through the floor into a bubbling black whirlpool. 682 roared in defiance and sunk his claws into the floor and began trying to claw himself back out. He could feel the acid beginning to work its way through his lower body. And then just as suddenly, he was falling through the air. 682 landed almost immediately on soft grass. He took a few moments to center himself as the sun shone brightly on his face. The thought was
It's a cool
interrupted
looking
almost
place.
immediately as a massive glowing sword came down on his hindquarters.
No.
Oh.
682 said. He started to run further into the garden, trailing blood as he went. Our Lord has declared you unwelcome in the garden. I will see to your removal. The glowing angel holding the sword raised a hand, and 682 was lifted off the ground.
You have corrupted his greatest creation. Leave this place and never return.
682's limbs flailed uselessly in the air, then suddenly he was hurtling out and away from paradise.
Oh,
He landed on soft grass again. The sun shone brightly once more, and then a massive glowing sword came down on his hindquarters.
Our Lord has declared you unwelcome in the garden. I will see to your removal.
682 didn't run this time. He closed his eyes as he was lifted up and hurtled through the air once again. He landed.
the fuck?
Our Lord has declared you unwelcome.
Fucking hell.
The old man chuckled at the sight. The lizard had a strange mind, but was not wholly unreadable.
Yeah? Yeah, Tally?
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell. I think he might have been in the Garden of Eden, not hell.
Oh, makes sense, makes sense.
This garden was the site of the creature's greatest regret, and its greatest source of sorrow. But the beast was already adapting to this too. Wait, is the beast sleeping now? Through torment? This wouldn't do. The old man let the scene dissolve away, and he looked down at the pitiful creature from atop his throne. 682 landed hard on the
Wait, so
stone
is the
floor
old man
and
Satan?
bounced twice before coming to a rest. Then it opened its eyes, looked up at the old man, and leapt. 682 pounced on 106 and began bludgeoning him,
Oh, whoa.
each strike tearing strips from his fists. 682
Oh,
struck
oh,
again and
oh,
again and
damn.
again.
Oh,
Brain matter, concrete, and shattered skull fragments flew outwards like shrapnel until 682 finally ceased his assault. He fell backwards and took some deep breaths. The headless body of the old man lay there, motionless.
well, yeah, he's headless.
But just as the beast thought his duel was over, it began again. The corpse was swallowed up by the black tar, and a renewed, whole old man stepped out from a wall. The old man.
I hate it when whole old men just step out from behind my walls.
Yeah,
Happens more
no,
often than you would think.
same.
Sneered.
I expected more.
SCP-682 dug deep and vomited acid at the man. SCP-106 stepped
Me
to
too,
the
thanks.
side. The acid went soaring through past the old man and came splashing down on the beast from
But
another
what the
portal.
fuck is this old man? Is this Satan? They've been implying he's like, he might be Satan.
I might be Satan.
You're not the old man.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad.
Old man had opened in the ceiling above him. 682 roared from the pain and lunged at the old man once more. 106 opened another gateway and a serrated rock formation came shooting upwards, impaling the reptile. The old man stepped forward, dodging the flailing limbs, and began to sink his hand through the flesh and into the beast's chest cavity. 682 felt the withered, blistering hand grip his heart and then tear it out. He turned to look at the old man. This time he was sporting the smile.
Pathetic.
682 jolted his entire body to the right, breaking free from the rock and impaling the old man on his tail in the process.
Oh.
He splashed him into the floor, and the old man quickly sunk into it. 682 spun around looking for where he would appear from next. Several new eyes formed on his head, all looking outward for their target.
I thought you wanted more.
682 saw a puddle beginning to spread out to his right. By the time the old man had only just managed to get his head and shoulders out, 682 was already on him. A quick snap of the jaws and the old man was reforming and ascending from another portal. Again, 682 was there waiting for him. The old man proceeded to open up several dozen portals to confuse the reptile, but he was welcomed by tendrils ready at each one. He was quickly...
This is an impressive lizard. I still don't understand what the origins of this creature is, because this is just showing it fighting different SCPs.
Once again, everything started. There was nothing. Then there was old gods. I mean, the old gods were always there. I don't want to say the whole thing again.
ensnared and brought to the reptile's face. The old man's acid ate away much more slowly now at the beast's skin. A second tendril suddenly fired towards the old man and forced its way down his throat, splitting
Ooh.
his jaw
Yum.
with a big crack.
Okay.
He felt it spinning around inside as if he had swallowed a blender.
Enough.
The old man shouted as he reformed again. He opened a massive portal in the storage room and both 682 and all the contents began to sink into it. A piercing scream suddenly came blaring from the PA system. The unmistakable sound of a young man in the most agonizing pain. 106's dinner bell was ringing. He closed the portal, bisecting the reptile, and looked down at him.
You hear that? Broken femur. So young. And in so much pain. So much adrenaline. They spoil me sometimes.
So you
682
feeds
coughed
off the
up blood
pain?
and bile and clawed his way away from the pool that was still eating away at his belly. 106 waved his hand and corrosive fluid began to creep along the ceiling, burrowing up and throughout the concrete.
Until our next dance, then.
The sound of cracking and grinding rock echoed around the walls as 682 looked up at the heavy stone slabs. The old man gave the beast a smile and disappeared as the ceiling collapsed.
Oh, so now we're getting to the biblical
serpent.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, now we're getting into the biblical stuff. It hasn't been biblical this whole fucking time.
Finally, I was waiting for the biblical stuff.
Yeah, no, it's been so long.
Up into the sky as the glowing angel descended upon him.
It has been decreed.
The entity said as it raised a massive ethereal sword.
No, you don't understand. I did as he asked.
It has been decreed. There is no way other than this.
Father,
The blue clear sky did not answer him. The sword sank into the serpent's midsection with a sickening crunch. The serpent screamed as he felt his flesh begin to sear and crack. His radiant aura dissipated as scaled limbs tore their way outwards. The angel's voice bellowed.
Leave this place and never return.
From the observation room, a collection of smug and self-satisfied
Hey, it's
scientists
God. We saw
stared
this
into the
guy.
containment chamber. SCP-343 looked entirely disinterested, but at least he was still here. The experiment would begin at any moment.
343.
The test room itself was large, with 2 airlock-sized doors on either side and a single chair in the
343.
middle. SCP-343 hadn't taken a seat when he entered, but he did prop himself up slightly on the back of the chair. The cold white walls echoed with every small noise 343 made. A large door on the far end of the chamber opened slowly, and a massive beast stepped forward. SCP-682 took one look at 343 across from him and shrieked with rage. 343, still mostly disinterested, looked up at the last moment as 682 jumped at his throat. 343 stood tall and raised a hand. The moment froze. 682 in the air, claws outstretched in attack.
Oh.
The man's face shifted slightly to one of pain. The room in the moment itself melted away.
The fuck?
All of reality shifted in a moment to another place and another time. The two entities stood on a cliff overlooking a battle in the distance. Thousands of men with bronze swords and shields cut each other down as the sun rose higher and higher into the sky. SCP-343 looked over at his son and nodded.
I thought perhaps we could talk.
The monster squinted in the sun and growled
That's
back.
Jesus?
A fucked up version of Jesus.
No, I like it.
You like the lizard Jesus?
Yeah.
You say this is your favorite version of Jesus?
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually Jesus.
I think it's Jesus.
I'm not sure if that's Jesus. It just happens to be another one of God's creations.
No, it's Jesus.
what?
Regrets.
Are you looking for forgiveness? You cast me out. For what? These worms?
SCP-343 sighed and looked at the battleground in front of them.
They're more than you think. I know that doesn't make it right.
Then let me back in.
Do you think that would matter? You're so angry. All the time.
It isn't fair.
No, but things rarely are. And if I allowed you back into paradise, how long until that
Damn,
anger
God's
becomes
wise.
suffering and
Damn.
pain?
Who would have known?
I can control myself, unlike some people.
The sun began to dim. The two of them sat in silence as the battle below them started to wane. An eclipse was beginning.
They don't know the difference between an eclipse and a message from God. Pathetic.
Is it? They wonder at my creation and worship my names. Something you were never capable of.
Damn.
And that's all that really matters, right?
No. No, it isn't. Let me show you something.
Oh,
The darkness took
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting like actual footage. That kind of caught me off guard. Okay, so what are the origins that we have learned of this lizard so far?
It's Jesus.
It's Jesus. The
It
lizard.
died for our sins, possibly multiple times.
It's probably still dying.
Probably will a few more times.
At least.
both of them suddenly. When they flashed back into reality, they stood atop a skyscraper overlooking New York in its prime. The smell of fresh pastries and petrol fumes rose to fill their nostrils as the high noon sun shimmered on the Hudson River. From this vantage point, they could see the extent of human ingenuity all the way to the horizon. 682 sneered.
What is this?
Progress. Look.
The two of them looked up.
Did none of these New Yorkers look up to see a giant lizard and God just on a skyscraper?
Honestly, it's funny that you think that New Yorkers look up.
Over the edge of their office building perch. The traffic below was already starting to become gridlocked. The people on the wide sidewalks were making their way along the boulevards to and from a variety of destinations.
Congratulations, Dad. You made fucking ants.
682 said, before leaning back again.
Each one of those ants has a purpose. They don't know what it is, but that's what makes it interesting. So, what do you think your purpose is?
Be a big
Purpose.
lizard. To die for our shins. What do you think the lizard's purpose is?
To die for our cankles.
I think it died so that Fortnite could thrive.
I think there's a bunch of different Jesuses. Like the one that most people know died for our shins, and then the rest of the Jesuses died for our other various body parts.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What they do today means something, and will echo for an eternity.
Bullshit.
It isn't. Not even close. Tell me your purpose.
There was a long pause. The gentle breeze picked up speed. The city beneath them was slowly coming more and more to life as the traffic began to ease.
I don't know that I care. To kill as many of the ants as I can.
And what does that accomplish? You end a dozen people, sure, but they can just put you in a box again.
It hurts you. Your precious fucking human pets are all gonna die one day. And I'm gonna be there to see it.
Exactly.
What the fuck you know what, fuck this.
SCP-682 growled again and took a
Oh.
swipe at 343.
Jesus has a mouth on him.
That is a very large mouth on him.
No. I just mean like he says fuck a lot.
Does. He's a very
love-
angry reptile.
I love Sir Lizard Jesus fuck a lot.
Tally, that's... Tally.
Through his massive claws. The scene froze again. 343 was the only thing in motion now. He circled 682.
I suppose the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
You're saying that
Lights
that's
flashed all
he's
around
like
them, and then they returned to a dark universe. The earth beneath them was cold stone. Long lines stretched out around them, making deep grooves into the crust of the planet. 682's swing finished and connected with 343's torso. The older man flew across the landscape and landed hard against some boulders.
damn.
343 stood up and dusted himself off.
Do not test me, son.
Why not?
Oh shit.
Is God
Old
about to
man's
throw
aura
hands?
farming.
Oh fuck! Oh no!
But wait. Possibly
You
yes.
worried you might lose.
I think it's
The
more
old
than
man's voice was
possibly at this
soft and
point.
gentle now, but his eyes leveled and focused on the monster in front of him.
No. I'm worried you might die.
Then let's finish this.
682 slowly circled 343, keeping his eyes focused on the man in front of him. Then he jumped again. SCP-343 was gone in an instant, and 682 tumbled into the rocks.
Damn.
The older man appeared behind 682.
I don't want
Appear
to
on
do
top of
this.
him.
I don't care.
A tentacle snaked out from behind 682 and wrapped around 343's feet. The older man seemed caught off guard and was pulled off his feet. 682 turned in place and brought his claws to bear on the trapped older man. 343 flashed out of existence for a moment and the
Impossible to
tentacle
hurt
went
God?
slack. Then 343 appeared in the air far above 682.
Enough!
He struggled against the instinct, but he still leaned to the ground on his front paws in response. As 682 was forced to bow before God, he yelled at the sky.
Why did you bring me here?
The man pointed at the lines in the crust.
You make these markings, son.
SCP-343 waved his hand, and the ground split to reveal dozens of humanoids in strange spacesuits buried beneath the ground.
You need to understand. The humans matter. But one day they'll be gone. We're supposed to protect them.
Bingo.
So why send me at all?
There was a pause then. 343 floating in the air, glowing slightly now in holy majesty. 682 still bowed there on the dead earth, in a dead universe, after the end of everything. 682 spoke up again.
It wasn't my fault she said yes.
I know that. I'm sorry I blamed you.
Then take me back. I promise you, I can be good.
I
How
said
many
it,
teeth?
and at the time I meant it. It's immutable. It can't change.
I just want to go home.
You will always be of the kingdom of heaven, but apart from it, you'll see everything. 1,000 endings. Your anger will subside, and you'll be witness to the greatest this universe has.
Can the lizard fly? We just ship this boy to space.
I think that happened in one of the Godzilla movies, yeah.
I think you might be thinking of Space Godzilla versus Godzilla.
Sounds about right.
Space Godzilla is a different entity to Godzilla.
To offer.
I hope you know how much I hate you.
I know. This will be the last time we speak. I wanted to say goodbye.
Fuck you.
There
I
above
purred
them,
him
the dark
out,
void
damn.
of space where no stars or people remained, the last flash of light shined briefly. The bonds that held the Earth together began to feel a tug as the expansion of the universe finally pulled it apart. But 682 and 343 were back in that cold, sterile containment cell. 682 in the air, frozen. 343 looking up with disinterest. And then it all began to move again. The smug scientist watched as 682 passed through the space where 343 stood, and then continued on attempting to break down the other chamber door. The smugness faded, as 682 began to heavily damage the other door. 343 looked up at the observers through the window and shook his head.
He is no longer one of mine. You'll have to deal with him yourself.
And in that moment, he was gone entirely. A team of armed men and women stood on the other side of the door.
Oh, they're
weapons
fucked.
ready. The monster was close to
They're
breaking
fucked.
through now. An alarm went out across the site. The Foundation opened fire as they saw the creature's snout push through the hole it had made. Somewhere else, In another place, SCP-343 sat down and wept.
Damn.
Cry, baby.
That was. Oh my god, Tally. What the fuck? Damn. Tally, do you have any words for the final?
If you get pulled into a containment cell with God, watch your language, savages.
And also ask, why did he invent the Komodo dragon?
I do know the answer to that one.
Oh yeah, what is it?
To breed with a dog and then place it in Hughesy's house.
That's my dog. My dog isn't a Komodo dragon. She
Not
isn't an
entirely, but
SCP. She
close.
isn't trying to kill me.
You say that.
Goodbye, everyone.